Holding on to the past can create a lot of suffering. When we hold on to the past, we can't become aware of it and release it. What happens is we're forced to relive the same story over and over and over and over. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to stop reliving the past, complete the past, and shift into your natural state of being, which is just to be completely in a state of peace. Your natural state of being is to be peaceful. But when we're holding on to all this baggage, all this negativity from the past that no longer exists in reality and only exists as a thought in your mind, this is when we create a lot of unnecessary suffering in our life. And I'm going to be sharing with you how to deal with that. I'm going to be sharing with you how to let go of the past and complete it once and for all. How to let go of the past and to complete it once and for all. Finally, let go of that thing that you've been holding on to release the baggage that you've been carrying that only exists in your mind. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell because I do post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Also, I do have a group program coming up in the next couple of months. So if you want to be a part of the program or if you want more details on the program, the link will be in the description box of this video for more details on that as well. So the first thing I want you to keep in mind is that energy flows where attention goes. And what most people do is they believe they have to keep bringing up the past to complete it. You don't need to keep bringing up the past to complete it. You need to bring it up probably once and that's it, if at all. Sometimes you need to bring it up to see the pattern, and that's part of it. Part of this process is seeing a pattern and completing it. But we don't need to keep reliving the past. It's completely unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary to keep bringing it up and looking at it. Oh, where did this happen? What about this childhood memory? What about this? My perspective is that we need to see it once and you're free after that. Anything after that is a waste of your energy because you're choosing to go back to that space. If you keep talking about the past and how bad it was, you're going to keep giving it energy and focus and attention, and you're going to keep suffering in your life. If you keep, for example, the people that complain about life the most have the least enjoyable experience. Why is this the case? Because when you keep talking about how dreadful your life is, you keep calling up people that are very attached to their thought processes and highly connected to an ego state of consciousness, some people would call, which is one way to explain being attached to the thought process and believing that your thoughts are who you are. When we're attached to the thought processes, what can happen sometimes is that we call lots of people and complain. I don't know why it's the case, but I found that people that are very attached to their egos typically will call a lot of people and complain about their life. The ego gets a nice high off of that, right? Oh, I need to call up my friend and talk about how annoying this person is, how annoying this day was. The ego gets a beautiful high off of that, but how long does it last? Until it's followed by intense suffering. And even while they're complaining, they're not feeling good either. Yeah, it's a high, but it's like the default vibration of that high. It's like you're high, but you're still over here in comparison to like being over here emotionally. Not as a hierarchy of better or worse in this life, but you can be at a higher emotional state that is more enjoyable. And so I want you to understand that we don't need to keep giving energy to the past. You can start to give energy to the present moment instead and feel into your body. Give more attention to where you are now and also what you would like to develop into in your life. Because if you can give all your attention, all your energy, all your focus to where you are right now versus giving all your attention to where you were however long ago, which is no longer relevant in your life, you're going to start to feel the peace of that. You're going to start to feel that it can be as simple as not giving the past any more attention. Don't feed it energy. Don't give it what it wants. Your past thoughts want you to be sucked in for the roller coaster ride and sucked in for the deception that does not need to happen any longer. You will feel the peace of this. The ego has this belief that, oh, I need to do this, I need to keep bringing it up in with family. Like maybe if you're in therapy or something, I need to keep talking about this. I need to keep bringing. No, you don't. You're free to complete the past. But it's like, Francis, don't I have to see it and be aware of it to let it go based on what you've taught? Yes, you do. But you see it and then you let it go. You don't keep bringing it up and staying there. I'm not saying that feeling negative emotions aren't part of the spiritual path. I'm saying that if they come up, don't stay there. You don't need to stay there. It can come up once, and then you say, you know what? I see you. I see you, emotion. I see you, thought. I see that past. But you know what? I'm just going to choose to shift my awareness to the present moment instead. That's it. I know this might sound overly simple, and it's like, Francis, is it really that simple? Don't I need to, go through this emotional purge and do... No. You see the emotion, stop giving it attention. All the patterns will be cleansed one moment at a time. If you want to go through some crazy purge all at once, you're welcome to, but you can also split it up. See the thought, shift your awareness to the present moment instead. Everything is energy, and energy flows where attention goes. And if you stop giving the past attention, then you will stop feeding it energy, and you will increase your state of consciousness and feel more peace in your life. Now, the second thing you want to do to let go of the past and complete it once and for all is to bring awareness to it, right? Kind of like I was saying earlier. Bring awareness to it, whatever the past is. You don't have to consciously conjure it up. You don't need to consciously go back to your childhood. That's not what I mean when I say bring awareness. You don't need to bring up the childhood memories anymore. You don't need to talk about them with people, even if you don't want to, although you could. That's one way to bring awareness to it. If you really feel the need to talk about something traumatic and bring it up once, then by all means do it. If that's what your heart wants. If you feel the need to discuss and talk about it, then do it. But it doesn't need to be something you keep doing over and 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 over, because at some point, when you keep talking about the past, you're not doing yourself a service anymore. You're just bringing it up for no reason, and it's not causing you any peace or the people around you. It's a dysfunctional pattern that needs to be removed from your life as soon as possible if you really want to feel the peace that you say you do. And so the key is, you can bring it up if you want, although sometimes I notice it's not necessary. Bring it up if you want, but also what you can do is you don't need to always bring it up and bring awareness to it consciously by going back to your childhood or something. Just live your life in the present, and if it comes up to the surface, bring awareness to it and choose not to give it attention. Choose to give your attention to the moment that you're in instead, or where you would like to be in the future. Of course, the future can also create suffering, but typically when we focus on where we want to go and what we want to develop into, the past will just fade away. If you stop giving the past attention, it will stop being something that holds power over you. If you stop giving the past attention, the attention that it's trying to get from you, it will stop holding power over you. You are powerful. You are more powerful than your past experiences. Your past experiences don't have to define who you are. Your past experiences don't have to define your sense of self. They don't have to explain your life. They don't need to be something that you define as something that is who you are. It's just a bundle of thoughts that no longer exist. The only place that they exist is in your mind. That is the truth. I know that this is hard to see because some thoughts can be so traumatic and can have so much emotional charge to them. It's like, Francis, it's not just thoughts. This trauma happened to me. That trauma happened to me. Believe me, your ego will fight for staying in that vibration. Notice that. Notice how your ego doesn't want to be present. It just wants to fight for how, oh, no, I need to keep talking about this. I need to do this. I need to complain. Try to have it within you to be present, even despite what your mind says. Because your mind will fight for its limitations. The mind will fight to stay in a low vibrational state of consciousness. It's very powerful how this works. Your mind says you want peace, but it also fights for its limitations. That's not a judgment towards any particular person. It's the collective mind that's happening in humanity right now. And the collective mind will fight for its comfort zone. It'll fight for its comfort zone, even if that comfort zone is bringing up the past and obviously creating a lot of suffering, but not obvious enough to the point where it reaches what I call the pain threshold to stop giving it energy. If you see the pain that you're causing yourself bringing up the past, you would have already realized this on your own, but maybe this video is the catalyst for that. And so I would invite you to just be present, give your attention to the now. And if the thought comes up, shift your awareness to the present moment instead. See it, acknowledge it, but say to yourself, I don't need to give this energy. You're not running away from anything because you saw it. You see what I'm saying? Running away from it is an unwillingness to see it. I'm sure you've already seen it in your life. I'm sure you've seen the negativity. You've seen it enough. It's time to just stop giving it energy. Seeing it is easy. Just stop giving it energy. I mean, seeing it is hard. Seeing it is hard. But sometimes we stay there for too long. That's what I meant to say. Seeing it is not easy. Seeing it can be the hardest thing you've ever dealt with in your life. But then what the ego wants to do is it wants to keep bringing up the pattern over and over and over. Stop. Notice it, acknowledge it, give it love and attention, and then don't. Because it does not need your energy and your attention any longer. And that's also how you complete the past once and for all. The third thing I want to share with you is I want you to really be aware that all the pain and suffering that you experience in your life in regards to something that happened is only coming because you keep giving that past experience attention in your experience. That past thought, that story, that narrative that perhaps might be playing in your mind or whatever it is, or any person's mind, remember that the only thing causing suffering is playing the narrative back in your mind. If you were to erase the past right now and somehow be totally present without this thought, your pain and suffering would subside. Now, I want you to keep in mind that taking my word for this is not the solution. The solution is to see how much pain bringing up the past is causing you. Notice that the only place that story exists is in your own mind. It doesn't exist in this reality anymore. It's not to discredit whatever trauma perhaps happened to you. It's not to discredit the traumas and the unfortunate circumstances that have been placed upon people. Many people that go through a spiritual awakening typically experience some sort of challenge or adversity in their life. It's not to say that you didn't have an experience. It's not to discredit that. It's not to say that it wasn't something that happened to you. But at some point, it's time to stop being a victim and empower yourself and feel the way you want to feel in your life. And part of that process might be seeing how much pain and suffering you're causing yourself by bringing up this story that only exists in your thoughts. It doesn't exist in the present anymore. That story, that trauma, doesn't exist anymore. It only exists in your mind. That trauma was there. I acknowledge you for that. I give you compassion. I am empathetic for you. I invite you to be compassionate towards yourself and also hold empathy towards yourself. But at some point, you also have to be aware of the fact that it only exists in your mind. And that's just the truth of the matter here. It might be very strong. It might be emotionally pulling you in and want you to fight for it and talk about how negative it was and how bad that person was. But at some point, you're only causing yourself suffering. When you're angry at somebody else, that's almost like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. That's what the vibration of anger does. That's what projecting negativity onto somebody is like. You're drinking poison, you're like, oh, I want you to die. No, but you're drinking the anger, you're drinking the poison, you're causing the suffering. That story isn't causing suffering anymore. Maybe they did at that moment, but now you're doing it to yourself. That's the hard truth. That's the hard truth. Maybe that person inflicted some pain onto you. Maybe something happened to you in the past that wasn't up to you, but now it is up to you to stop giving that story attention, to empower yourself. Because these things that happened to you might have been out of your control. But now, in this moment, you are the one causing suffering, not what happened to you. What happened to you is no longer causing you suffering. It's you. And that's the truth we can see to empower ourselves. Because this realization that the past is creating the suffering gives you a freedom to stop giving it attention and to shift your awareness to what you are instead, which is, of course, consciousness, which is what you are right now. What are you experiencing right now? Does that past exist anymore? Is it still happening? No, it's done with, completed. Stop giving it energy. Maybe the pattern will still come up in your life. Acknowledge it, notice it, give it love, and then choose to not give it attention and let it go once and for all. And you'll notice that you complete the past more and more and more as you do this. So when that thought comes up, acknowledge it, but choose not to give it your energy. So that's all I have for this video. Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, hit the link that's in the description box of this video to apply for a free consultation. Also, I do have a group program coming up really soon in the next month or two. So if you want to be a part of the program, or if you want more details on the program, the link will be in the description box of this video for more details on that as well. As always, have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.